Okay, so just as a matter of emphasis is that we are not talking about a particular system that removes these waste products, but we are talking about different parts of the plant removing these waste products. And we have seen that these waste products are actually quite many, falling into categories of either liquids, gases, or even solids. Okay, some of them can basically be removed through diffusion, simple diffusion, others through transpiration when the water gets out of the stomata into the atmosphere, others getting out through the bark or even the stem, others through the leaves. Okay, so that means that we have different ways in which the plants actually handle these waste products. Okay, for the gases, simple diffusion out. And then when we talk about the organic acids, nitrogenous wastes, they can be stored in certain parts of the plant, whether it is the leaves, whether it is the bark, or some of them can be stored in what we call the xylem. Okay, others are released into the soil. Okay, so that therefore means is that what that therefore means is that plants have different mechanisms of dealing with waste products. If we talk about in terms of categorizing what we have seen here, we can talk about the three main mechanisms where we are saying that some of these waste products just diffuse out. Carbon dioxide, oxygen, water vapor, they just basically diffuse through holes that we term as the stomata or the lenticels in the woody plants, basically woody stems. And then for those waste products that are not extremely very toxic, they can be stored within the cells of the plant or within the tissues of the plant, this specifically in the vacuoles. Okay, and this can include the organic waste products that we have talked about and nitrogenous waste products that we have talked about. And then we have those that are stored in the leaves, and when the leaves fall off, basically you're having these waste products being removed. Okay, so we are talking about transpiration, which is the process through which the plant loses water into the atmosphere. So we have three types: stomatal transpiration, cuticular transpiration, and then reticular transpiration. All these are based on where this transpiration is coming, is happening. If the water vapor is lost through the stomata, it is stomatal. If it is through the surface of the leaf, that is cuticular, because the cuticle is what covers the surface of these leaves. And then we have holes on woody plants that we call the lenticels. So that is what is termed as the reticular transpiration. Guttation is another mechanism through which water is actually lost in the form of water droplets. Or in this case, we are talking about water basically coming out of mainly herbaceous plants. If you have ever woken up in the morning, you see a stem losing or oozing out water, and that stem is not losing water because it has been cut. That water is basically coming out of the plant. That is what we call guttation. Okay, so plants that are in water-lodged areas can actually have this mechanism. And this happens when transpiration is actually low. Okay, and then we have this happens because transpiration is very low, but again, the root pressure is high. That is what helps in pushing out this water. It is seen in tomatoes, potatoes, grasses. So we're basically saying that these waste products can be used by the plants themselves for respiration to produce energy, and then some of these waste products can actually be used as a source of nitrogen for synthesis of other compounds, and then some of them are actually useful for photosynthesis. We already saw that carbon dioxide is very important for photosynthesis, and then also temperature regulation. Carbon dioxide can be used as an insulating gas. Okay, so if we are to compare excretion in plants and animals, we will basically realize that plants do not have a unique system for removal of waste products, and then we can also realize that plants can reuse some of their waste products for different metabolic processes, and then they also rely on simple mechanisms. We don't have issues of filtration. No, we don't have different reabsorption, refiltration. No, just simple processes of diffusion, storage, and shading enough for plants. Okay. We have seen that these simple mechanisms are useful because they enable the plant to get what they want, especially the gases that they want, but also processes like transpiration contribute to the water cycle, and then we can also use some of the waste products in different ways. For example, some of these waste products in plants can be used in paints, in varnishes, in cosmetics, producing medicines, and also rubber products. Okay, and that definitely means that we cannot really blame plants for producing a lot of waste. Okay, so that is quite beneficial compared to what animals actually do, because the animals can produce a lot of waste, and that is very problematic in handling. So in summary, we're basically saying that plants produce simpler waste products that